Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. This is Faik from Wacom. It's a great pleasure to meet you again. We have now 11 and a half hours behind us with the Connected Inc. 2020. We had great performances so far. We talked about future education. We talked about empowering children for creative journeys. And then, of course, we had also great performances. The last one, for example, which was a dance performance from Japan. And with this, we are continuing now with the second half of the Connected Inc. In the second half, we want to give you some insights from Wacom. We want to give you some insights. What is Wacom doing? And for this, I have three team members from Wacom with me together. Melissa from the US, GH Kim from Korea, and Shane from Australia. We are going to talk about our inside our experience in Wacom during the last 10 months. We are going to share this where we are, and we want to focus on three main topics. First of all, this where we are coming from. That means the creative community here, the creative community, how we are engaging during these times with the creative community. And there are no live events, for example, on-site events. We are doing everything online, etc. Melissa is going to give us some insights on this. GH Kim is going to give us more about the topic education. Education, I think this is a challenge all over the world. This is also a pattern what we are seeing. That means education, children can't go to schools. And this is also where we are contributing and where we are supporting. The third topic is more the remote working topic. This is where we are. You can also see I am I am not in the office. I am at home. I'm working from home. That means remote working is also something what we are living more or less now since 10 months. And also this kind of experience we would like to share. I would like to start with Melissa. Maybe Melissa, just from your perspective, the engagement with the community, with the creatives, what is your experience and what do you want to share with the audience?
Well, in March, we stopped going to trade shows. They were all canceled. And our trade show team and the rest of the community team kind of sat together and said, what's next? And we decided we'd do a little thing called a webinar. We hadn't really done one before. And so we started with a fabulous teacher named Stacy Roshan, who is also contributing some videos today. And she helped us get our whole webinar program kicked off. And little did we know that only 10 months later, we will have produced several big online events. And we really did that because of the artists, because with the cons closed, Comic-Con and the conventions, they had nowhere to showcase their art. They had nowhere to network. They had nowhere to sell their art live. And so when we do these events, what we see is in the chat, what will happen is the artists will start to talk to each other. So we could be saying one thing, but the artists are having a whole other conversation together. They often start Discord channels off of the Wacom chat, which has been exciting. And then they start to support each other too. So even after the event is over, now you have this whole group of artists who know each other and who are lifting up each other's work too. So it's been really great to see that transition from the live events into the online events and the community, the art community, still supporting each other.
Great. Thank you, Mesa, for sharing this. And this is also the reason why we are doing this time the Connected Inc. Event as an online event and as a live event. And the live event is going to start Japan time today at 1 o'clock. And now we are still in the online session and we are continuing. With this, let's jump to the education topic. Again, the education topic is really a big topic during the COVID situation. We are seeing that schools are closing and the students, the teachers are at home. That means remote teaching, remote learning is one of the key topics. And I think GH Kim has good experience here in Korea because I think this is one of the main topics you experience in Korea. GH Kim, with this to you.
Yeah, thank you, Faik. So like other countries around the world, so all schools in Korea were compared to shutdown due to COVID-19 for outbreak in this February. So it was very critical. So luckily, it was kind of very lucky that the Korean government has strongly supported online education with the huge boost budget and the plan. So that includes like investment in the buildings, the infrastructure for Wi-Fi in class, or some like distributed smart device to student, also providing copyright related support center by government. So that was a very strong support from government. So as a Wacom, so we have had a good relationship with the local partner, because that is very important to have a good solution so that teachers can easily use the software with the Wacom tablet. So, and then, so we have introduced to our customer with recommended software for the online class, and with the Wacom pen display. And also we provided some specific trial program, because our class teachers are very difficult to use our tablet or some to use an online education software. So that was very helpful. And also last stage, we provided some customized online training to specific school, or we provided some webinar for teachers in general. So the teachers are doing a real online class with a tablet. So in the online education, the most challenge is how to draw the attention or interest from our student during the online class. So for the meanings, Wacom pen displays like a Wacom One has been one of the best solution for that. So teachers can easily draw, so annotate and write on digital whiteboard or PowerPoint or YouTube, anything teacher want to, which makes the class more intuitive and engaging. So I can say so online class is also, and online class is very apt to be one-way communication. So in general, and pen tablet will be a good solution to make it more interactive. So that's why many teachers and students are using our tablet during online class in Korea.
Great. Thank you, GH Kim. Just second question: how is the situation in Korea? Are you back in the office?
Actually, it depends on the company. So, so some companies is work from home, and some companies are different. Some hybrid, like hybrid. Also, the school is getting back to normal gradually, but still there is some limitation of class. So, school provides some hybrid, online and offline, depends on the corona situation.
Great, thank you, GH Kim. With this, I would like to go to Australia. Australia is going forward for the summertime. That means you are going to the sunny times of the year. And with this, to Shane, I think you had a full lockdown and really a strong winter. Maybe from your experience, Shane, from our office, but also your personal experience, and maybe how is Australia and the region is doing.
Yeah, Faik, we are going into summer. We had a hard lockdown in March across Australia. We've had the government have taken a suppression approach. New Zealand, which is in our area, has elimination. So their approach is, they want no cases and they'll go into a hard lockdown straight away. But as a country in Australia, we've had some cases rise and fall. Victoria went back into a hard lockdown up until about a month ago. And so looks like they've overcome the second wave, which is fantastic. But right throughout this time, our office, which is quite similar to most people were working from home from sort of March to July, August, that sort of period. And now there's been a returning to the office. We're at the stage in Wacom where we've got 50% coming back to the office. So you'll be in the office 2 or 3 days a week maximum. And I think that's pretty typical of industry in Australia. And what we found is that it's been a really interesting time. There's definitely pros and cons in this situation. And, one of the pros has been, I'm at home now. This is not my backyard, I can assure you. I wish it was, but it's not. But, I've got kids and I can take them to school, and pick up and drop offs are a lot easier. We feel as though we're a lot more engaged. When I say that, the staff at Wacom with our families, it's been helpful in that regard. But we've got a really mixed group. We've got some guys who are in a share accommodation. They're like young guys in you know, in an apartment together, which can be quite challenging, as well as families with kids. And so we've seen all realms of different sort of work styles, but the same, from my perspective, the same things, the same challenges are still there. So I still want good communication across the team. We still need collaboration. I still want to get good ideas from the team, and make sure that as a business that we don't slow down process. If we've got to make decisions, we've got to make them. And so what we found is that our normal is Zoom conferences and Teams. There's been lots of those, and there's been a lot of, I guess, decision making through documents and presentations. And what we found, and you know, it's been even a surprise for us, is how helpful our devices can be. In a Zoom conference, as JH has mentioned, we've learned a lot from education. Just being able to use the whiteboarding feature in Zoom and Teams is really helpful. If you want to brainstorm ideas, you know, that's something that absolutely transfers from education into the work. But there's been other benefits as well. When you're using documents so much, and PowerPoint is a good example. It's very common for us to use PowerPoint. That as a manager, I can provide feedback directly onto the PowerPoint slide, and we can either do that in a shared, you know, video conferencing environment, or I can just do it straight digital. Whereas in the past, I might have printed that out, you know, written on it and provided some feedback. You know, I can do that directly onto the screen. And so, you know, what's been surprising is rather than slow down process, in some cases we're actually speeding up process. And you know, we're hearing that from customers as well, that because it's a pen interface, it's actually quite easy to use. And you know, that's been a surprising benefit, particularly when you've got staff working from home, where you don't need to all be set up with you know, printers and those sorts of things. We can remove those costs and just use a display to annotate and keep it fully digital. So actually, our digital workflows definitely improved a lot. So again, that's one of the pros of this situation.
Great, thank you, Shane. And these three examples, and this is also the reason why we called this session really how chaos and creativity leads to new beginnings. These all three topics are for us new beginnings, and I think we have this also all over the world. Again, these are three examples here with our team members, but I think there are much more. But we are still not there. That means the situation continues. And I think we are also going to live with the situation in the next couple of months, maybe even really the next full year. With this, are there any advices you want to share with the audience, Melissa, GH, or also Shane, just from your perspective going forward to the future?
I think from my perspective, I have two things about working from home, actually, which has, as Shane pointed out, certainly saved time and brought connections to family. I think it's also afforded us a lot of grace with our coworkers, because I know I've been on a lot of calls where colleagues suddenly have, you know, a kid running in and wanting to sit on the lap, or dogs barking. Shane's dog started barking right as we went live. And it's just been really great to have that connection to our coworkers, that really human feeling with our coworkers. But it also has afforded us some more time. And I think that we can take inspiration from our creative community and use that time to create and to indulge our creative passions. I've been knitting a lot. I'm taking a Spanish class, learning a second language, and doing my own art that I find inspiring. I know Elizabeth, our social media manager, is taking a sculpture class. We have a lot of Wacom people internally who are finding inspiration with our artists. And I think that during this time, if we can look at our artists and see how their art communicates their challenges and their strengths, I think people can find some new meaning in their lives during this time.
Great. Thank you for sharing this, Melissa. GH Kim, anything to add from your side to this?
Yeah, in my perspective, I think this hybrid class will be continued even after Corona. But so it is very important for us to think seriously on what kind of things we can support in view of software, in view of device and solution together. It's important. So also this is our children, our for our society as well.
Yeah.
So at the same time, so I strongly believe that we are possibly be connected each other with Wacom digital solutions in the field of education without any benefit and merit from that. So anyway, yeah.
Great. Thank you. Shane, anything to add from your side?
No, I think the guys have said it really well. It's great to get some time back. I would be spending at least an hour each way going into the office each day. So getting that 2 hours back is a godsend for me. But I think, watch education. There's a lot happening in education that I think is going to transfer back to business. Education are doing a really good job at using technology. We've got some amazing teachers and educators all across the world where we're just applying the good things that they're doing into business. So there's going to be a lot more of that innovation, which will actually come from the education sector across into business.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this. Again, I'm calling this Wacom Insight. This is really from us, what we think and what we are sharing. Please, again, enjoy the next 12 and a half hours or 12 hours and 15 minutes of the Connected Ink. As I said, in Japan time, 1 o'clock, the live sessions are going to start. That means this is going to be then on stage. But in parallel to this, you are going to see the online sessions in different directions, which are going to cover, of course, the creative topics, but also on the other side, topics like education and digital right management, etc., new technologies with us and with our partners. And we mentioned, I think, several times also, for example, software is going to be key also for the future. We just have also partners here using, for example, our devices where we are partnering together for the education market. That means that really schools and universities can use this. For this, please stay tuned and stay healthy. Thank you for joining us and thank you for listening to us. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.